and then we'll wrap it up with Dream, where Fedor is going to be in action. Also on that card, we have confirmed that Shinya Aoki will be fighting as well. His opponent to be named later. Chonan's going to fight, Sakurai's going to fight, and Kawajiri is going to fight. All that coming up in Dream. Wow. Now, here's some of the most interesting news. It takes place in the state of New York, where the UFC is in for another kind of fight far away from the octagon. Along with several fighters, fans, and trainers in their corner, the UFC has filed a lawsuit against New York State officials for violating the Constitution by banning MMA in that state. The key to it all in the suit, the suggestion that the ban infringes on the fighters' First Amendment right to publicly exhibit their skills and express themselves. Now, the New York Attorney General's office has not returned our calls at this time. Here's what we can tell you in an exclusive statement to Inside MMA. UFC light heavyweight champ Jon Jones, a New York native and is also listed as a plaintiff, says, as a native of New York, it's important for me to support action to bring professional MMA to my home state. Recent studies have answered any questions of safety, and it would provide a positive economic impact to the state. There is no downside to legalizing the sport. And retired UFC light heavyweight Matt Hamill also is listed in the suit, and he told us, as a proud New Yorker, I am willing to do whatever it takes to get that changed. We see the 3 states here that do not have MMA sanctioned at this time. Of course, the prize jewel in all of this is the state of New York. That's where everyone wants to go. I mean, not just the UFC, but every MMA organization would love to get in there. Now, is it going to happen? Jamie Levitt joins us. She is a partner at Morrison & Foerster and the counsel to the UFC. Jamie, we thank you for your time. Let me ask you first, is this a UFC deal alone? Because we've got some other plaintiffs like Jones. Is that correct? In other words, a lot of people are involved in this.
Yeah, and first of all, let me tell you, it's an honor to be on here. Tito run a little hard act to follow, but I am excited to be here with you to talk about this case. Yes, this is not the UFC alone. They're one of the plaintiffs here, but we have, a dozen or more others. We have fighters like Jon Jones and Gina Carano, Frankie Edgar, Matt Hamill, Brian Stann, but we also have a bunch of local people in New York, as you said, trainers and amateur fighters and fans and bloggers, and all of those people help to bring the local flavor to this, and this is important, to everyone, to those, all of you in this room, and to the UFC, and obviously to the people of New York.
And the First Amendment, is that going to be a tough one to sell? I mean, is that the gist of this, that it is a First Amendment right that the MMA fighter should be allowed to make a living in the state of New York?
So just like an MMA fighter, we come with lots of tools in our box in this fight, but the First Amendment's obviously a very important one. As you all know, the First Amendment protects speech. It protects words. It also protects symbolic speech, like wearing a black armband to protest the war. But where we're going here is that speech has been held by the Supreme Court to also include expressive conduct, things that you do that send a message and that people receive that message. So the court has found parades to be expressive speech, or dance, or theater, or even group bicycle riding. Entertainment is protected speech. And what we're saying here is that there is a message that professional fighters send to their fans when they get in the octagon, when they get in the ring, that there is a message they're sending. And it can be a different message for different people. It can be courage or self-discipline or overcoming obstacles like Matt Hamill with his hearing disabilities, or inspiring fans like Brian Stann does to get over post-traumatic stress disorder and to know they can be the best they can be. So we believe that it's pretty clear there's a message that's being sent, and clearly, from all the fans, there's a message being received.
Jamie, I want to read this to you. This is from Ken Paulson, who is the president and CEO of the First Amendment Center, and here's what he tells us. Quote, we don't see much case law support for the First Amendment argument in this case. Books, movies, and video games have storylines plotted by writers. That's not the case with an athletic event. Now, that comes from the guy that, they obviously take the First Amendment seriously, and I'm sure you're going to hear something counter to that by the New York State officials, and you respond how?
Yeah, I mean, we take the First Amendment very seriously too, and we think actually that although there is no case law of a professional athlete trying to assert protection for his or her live performance of his sport, we believe that expressive conduct cases can be extended to that. I'd also point out that the legislative history of this act passed back in 1997 is replete with legislators talking about what they believe to be a negative message of MMA. So although we all agree that there is a positive message that can be sent, and this is not doesn't send a negative message to society, the legislature certainly perceived a message, and that alone should be enough to help us prove that this is expressive speech.
And this is Bas. What is the time frame in getting this all done?
That's a really difficult question to answer. The state actually has, I believe it's December 6th is the date that they need to respond to our complaint. They'll probably ask for a little more time, and then this will play itself out in the court through motions and some discovery. So I think it's a period of months and perhaps longer than that. But we do think that we'll make progress here.
Jamie, I know a lot of people are going to be watching this. I think this is going to be a case that's going to be studied if you win this in law school. Forget all just MMA fans. This is going to be like a law professor quiz someday if you get this First Amendment argument. You think?
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I should point out that that's the home run, to use another sports metaphor, for us to prove this is expressive conduct. We can win this case in other ways as well. This statute is very overbroad. It makes illegal anything that advances MMA. So that could mean showing a pay-per-view at Madison Square Garden. That could be a radio show. That could be a blogger. That could be an advertisement in Times Square. And clearly, all of that is very, easily protected by First Amendment case law. And so if we have an act that is overbroad and covers what is First Amendment protection, that's another way for the court to throw it out as unconstitutional.
Jamie, we appreciate your time. Best wishes. We will certainly be following this and follow up with you, I hope.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jamie Levitt, who is leading the cause there for the UFC and others in their case against the state of New York, trying to bring that sport to New York.
The Statue of Liberty is in New York, yet it's the only state where it's not allowed. It's kind of weird, right?
All right, we've got more highlights.
Boss, where are we going, Kenny?
Boss, I don't know. Wait, we're going to the Canary Islands.
Oh!
Wow, we're really going somewhere today, huh? Andy Risti taking on Jone Risco.
Bonk, bonk. Oh. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is Thai boxing. Okay, here we go. Bonka! Oh, short left hook. I love that.
Perhaps you caught it. Showtime action on HDNet. If not, catch it the next time because it is action. It's Andy Risti with the TKO in round one there.
Okay.
Giorgio Petrosyan taking on Zeben Diaz.
Watch Petrosyan. He's considered the best guy ever now in striking. Although I think that Mike Zimbides beat him. But hey, that's me. But this guy's unreal.
Diaz hangs with him. Petrosyan wins it, though, a split decision. Now world title on the line. Daniel Ilagu taking on Lauren Javier Jorge.
Boom. Looks like Remy Brzezinski a little bit, right? Crazy height knees, right?
Yeah. And it's Ilunga.
Just keep
coming on strong at the end, winning it by unanimous decision.
2 flags around his neck.
2 flags and a belt.
I bet you mama was born there, father was born there, melt in the middle, bam, mix it up. All cool.
All right, when we come back, Ronda goes in the cage like you've never seen before with Boss. That and more highlights. We're live. Stay with us.
Drinking party right now, but you know where the biggest drinking party is? It's Wednesday nights on HDNet. It's Drinking Made Easy. 8 o'clock, it's very easy. If you're a fan of Drinking Made Easy and you want to have your very own viewing party, go to drinkingmadeeasy.com. We'll tell you where you can have those parties at. Sorry, I'm a little drunk right now. And if your favorite bar is not on there, or your hometown's not on there, and then just email us. Go to drinkingmadeeasy.com and watch Drinking Made Easy on HDNet Wednesdays at 8. And we'll send cool stuff. And Mark Cuban's going to buy you a plane. It's going to be the best party ever.
On the next Good Night Burbank.
He's a jolly good fellow.
I'm sorry. I don't normally make that kind of noise.
I'm okay. Baby's okay.
You can count on me, boss.
Great.
Wait, you're pretending to be American?
You got a problem with that?
I'm not a lawyer, but pretty sure that's treason.
Goodnight Burbank, Wednesday at 9 on HDNet.
Greg, you are...
The property manager.
I thought that was my job.
Next time on The Super.
I had no idea what I was in for when the bank hired me to manage the Centaur.
He went to jail. He broke into apartment number 1.
We could have a problem with that.
He would beat me and stuff in here.
Don't look away. Look at me in the eyes.
I'm over here at Centaur. Channel 7 just showed up.
You should have came to me.
The Super. All new. Tonight at 9 on HDNet.
Welcome back to Inside MMA. I'm here in the cage with Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Her nickname now becomes the arm collector, I guess. Well, she's going to show us how to perform an armbar.
Okay. You know, I was gonna want to lean it in, but what is the trick, Ronda? What did you do?
Well, one major thing with arm bars is you gotta make sure you're squeezing your knees because you don't want the person to be able to turn in and get their elbow out.
Yep.
And of course, when you're leaning back, you don't want to have the arm away from you and then pull it. You want to use your back muscle, so you kind of hug it and then you sit back to break it.
Very nice. I think that's a one take. I don't think we need to do this again. Back to you, Kenny.
Thank you, boss. Thank you, Rhonda.
One take.
Rhonda's hurt my co-host.
One take, Ronda.
I am angry. I don't know what to do about it, though. The UFC's, what are they going to do? They got fights galore. Let's go to Ron Kruk now with more on that busy schedule of the UFC this past month.
This past weekend, the UFC held its 15th pay-per-view event this year. Add in 9 more shows on network or cable television, and MMA fans have several options to check out their favorite sport. But is it MMA overload? Fans here in San Jose weighed in.
I think it's great. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it, but the more the better, right?
Every weekend people watch football. Why not every weekend UFC?
I do hear, it is a little much. We're starting to show it a little much. Kind of losing a bit of the fancy out of it.
The bigger the fan base, the better, so that means more fights.
I think because some of them have been free, it's a dream come true. If I had to pay for all of them, it probably would be overkill.
I think actually they're finding more talent as the sport gets bigger and the more exposure, more people try to join, more talent comes out.
For me, I love it. I mean, I am a fan. I like it being on every weekend.
Boxing's downhill. UFC's on the uprise.
Fights are good, I'm game. As long as the fights are there, I'm watching.
All right, thanks, Ron. I mean, you see, though, I think the UFC's doing a good job mixing it up.
Yep. 2 pay-per-views, and then 2 you had a chance to see. I mean, if you got cable or you got network, most people, obviously everybody gets network, most people get cable now. Yeah. So you had a chance to see those fights. And you save up when you want to see Tito Ortiz fight. You put the money together and you come and watch it.
No, it's good. I mean, that's UFC giving an opportunity for all the fans to get educated on what the sport is. There's the diehard fans who know what the sport truly is, and then the guys are still learning. There's still people coming to me going, "What's UFC?" It's like, you don't know UFC? What rock you hide underneath? But at the same time, the more and more you see it, the more it becomes a normalcy to them. They get to see it and going, "Oh, there's an armbar, there's a triangle," and they understand it. And that's when MMA was take over as it is now. I mean, as a guy said on in one of the interviews talking about. There's NFL every weekend. How come there can't be MMA every weekend? Well, UFC is making that step by getting on Fox and making this happen.
That was big.
And I think it's really good for us fighters to get this opportunity to be showcased on a big stage as UFC is doing.
It's like a double Snicker. They give him one Snicker half for free. You say you want the other piece? You got to watch the pay-per-view.
That's true. By the way, how you holding up there? This Ronda, she's a medalist, an Olympic medalist in judo.
No big
Someone
deal.
should have told you that.
Unbelievable. Youngest one ever went to the Olympics, right? 17 years old?
Youngest in the 2004 Olympics in judo. But yeah.
Dang.
And then
crazy. And your mom was in the sport.
Yeah, she was the first American to ever win the World Championships in judo. I was 12 years old. She was having me drill arm bars and do uchikomis in the house. Anytime she saw me not doing nothing, she had to make me do push-ups or something. She was one of those parents.
Old moms that don't pay attention.
You know what? I always swore I would never. I was like, "Oh, no, I kids. I'll never do this to them." But maybe on a different version of the same thing.
At least give them the option, huh?
Yeah.
But see, we're seeing situations
such a, what I've noticed in this show now, we're in our 5th year, is that the diversity we've seen with the athletes themselves, what they bring to it.
Yep.
From all walks of life.